Good afternoon. Welcome to Business This Week on ITV. Happy holiday. I am Blessing AJ. Apologize for coming behind schedule. Now today, I'm sure a lot of persons have been thinking, how do I make ends meet in a time like this where the economy is biting very hard on many Nigerians? Yeah, high cost of living, high inflation rate. Now there's fear scarcity and so many other things troubling businesses for those who already have one business or the other that they do. And for those still in the labor market yet to land a job are thinking, what do I do to leave the list of unemployed? All the answers to these questions will be brought to you today as you stay tuned to the program Business This Week. Before we get to look at how to leave the unemployment list and how to create multiple streams of income if you already have a business or a job that you do, let's bring you a roundup of business activities for the week. Okay, in the course of the week, the World Bank has predicted that Nigeria and other African countries will experience higher inflation due to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, which has triggered supply disruptions. In a statement, the bank disclosed that the sub-Saharan African economy was still struggling to recover from the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. According to the Washington-based lender, the region's economic struggle has been adversely affected by the Russian invasion of Ukraine. The statement read in part that as top world exporters of food staples, Russia, the world's largest exporter of fertilizers, and Ukraine account for a substantial share of wheat, corn, and seed oil imports, all of which may be halted if the conflict persists. While sub-Saharan economies are also likely to be impacted by tightening of global conditions and reduced foreign financial flows into the region. The analysis notes that the high fuel and food prices will translate into higher inflation across African countries, hurting poor and vulnerable citizens, especially those living in urban areas. The World Bank chief economist for Africa, Albert Zufak, was quoted as saying, as African countries face continued uncertainty, supply disruptions, and soaring food and fertilizer prices, trade policy can potentially play a key role by ensuring the free flow of food across borders throughout the region. The bank advised that amid limited fiscal space, policymakers must look to innovative solutions, such as reducing or waiving import duties on staple foods temporarily to provide relief to their citizens. The governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, has ordered the immediate release of 3.5 billion naira as a rebate to 150 exporters who participated in the race to $200 billion scheme. This was one of the outcomes of the Bankers Committee meeting held yesterday. The CBN had in February disclosed that it would pay exporters 65 naira for every $1 sold into the economy through the investors and exporters window and 35 naira for every $1 repatriated and sold into the investors and exporters window for individual use. It disclosed this in a guideline for the newly introduced RT 200 program. Speaking during the virtual press conference after the committee's meeting, the managing director of a new generation bank, Neka Unyali Ukwe, said the rebates to the exporters would be paid quarterly. According to data from the CBN, $60 million has come into the country since the program commenced in February. Now let's look at how trade ended at the Nigeria Stock Exchange yesterday. The stock markets of the Nigerian Exchange Limited yesterday gained 77 billion naira to close positive and sustained a 5-day bullish trend amidst Easter celebration. Thursday was the last trading day of the week as the federal government declared Friday, April 15th and Monday, Easter Monday, April 18th, 2022 as public holidays to mark the Easter celebrations. The Nigerian Stock Exchange All-Share Index rose by 143.07 points to close at 47,510.38 basis points, while the overall market capitalization value gained 77 billion naira to close at 25.613 trillion naira. The upturn was impacted by gains recorded in medium and large capitalized stocks, amongst which are SFS Real Estate Investment Trust, Dangote Cement, Nigerian Breweries, Julius Berger, and Berger Paints Nigeria. Market sentiment, as measured by market breadth, was positive, as 21 stocks gained relative to 16 decliners. SFS REIT recorded the highest price gain of 10% to close at 77 naira per share. Mayor PLC followed with a gain of 7.38% to close at 1 naira 60 kobo, while UPDC Real Estate Investment Trust up by 7.32% to close at 88 kobo per share. Chams rose by 5% to close at 21 kobo, while Linkage Assurance appreciated by 4.08% to close at 51 kobo per share. Now, on the other hand, talking about losers now, Dangote Sugar Refinery led the losers chart by 5.09% to close at 15 naira 85 kobo per share. RT Briscoe Nigeria followed with a decline of 5% to close at 57 kobo, while Africa Prudential depreciated by 4.76% to close at 6 naira per share. Meanwhile, the total volume of trade fell by 1.7% to 385.182 million units, valued at 4.022 billion naira, and exchanged in 6,212 days. Transactions in the shares of Fidelity Bank tops the activity chart with 74.814 million shares valued at 282.518 million naira. Sterling Bank followed with 45.533 million shares worth 64.895 million naira, while Access Holdings traded 33.866 million shares valued at 347.251 million naira. Now, that seems to say that the banking sector is still performing very well. But according to analysts, the stock market closed northwards for the week due to the gain recorded in the industrial sector. Now, they hope and expect that investors' sentiment would be swayed by the search for real positive returns and development in the interest rate space. And that's it on Business Roundup for the week. We're going to quick break, and then we will look at entrepreneurship as a way to tackle unemployment in Nigeria. Stay tuned. Thank you for staying. Once again, happy holiday. I do hope that for those who are already at home enjoying the holiday, it is going very well. That doesn't mean we can't talk about business, because trust me, if you don't arrange things for yourself now, it's holiday season, so spendings will be high. You may just resume work or get to your business list by Tuesday, and then you're thinking, I've spent so much taken out of my business, now how do I recoup? So let's learn that right now. For those who perhaps are out of job and thinking, what do I do to make ends meet, a lot of bills to pay? So how do I begin to generate income or become gainfully employed? I understand that some persons are employed, but they are underemployed, meaning that the job that they do, when compared with your pay, it is not commensurate at all. That's why I have with me here someone who's an entrepreneur, is into production, is also into services. Now, this person, you could say if he's a teacher, yeah, he should be able to teach, because this is what he does. I have with me Kevin Cecily. Welcome to the show.
Welcome. Good afternoon,
It's
listeners
nice.
and audience out there.
Yeah, it's nice having you here.
Thank you very
when we
much.
do things like this, talk about something that everyone can benefit from, it just seems like we're in school and this is a class. So I could say again, welcome to class, even though the class is holding on a public holiday. Okay, now for those who will want to be a part of the show, now you could go to our website, www.itvradio.com/live, and then follow the show, and also leave your comments there, so that if you have questions you want to ask, you can be a part of the show. Also, you can do that on Facebook at facebook.com/itvradio.ng and be a part of the show. Also, leave your comment. You want to make it personal and say, okay, Blessing Aichi, let's also let you know that we're watching the program, and leave our comments. You can also go to my page, Blessing Gem, and then just leave your comments there, so that our teacher here could answer your questions. Now, let's get to the show proper right now. Now, in a time where there is massive job loss, a lot of persons have lost their jobs this time, because even when they were employed, since a lot of companies are battling with high production costs, so some have had to lay off workers. There's also high cost of living, a lot of challenges right now economically. So is it a good time for anyone to begin to say, I want to be an entrepreneur?
It's a good time. In a situation where we find ourselves in this part of the world, self-employed is the best way to go. In the sense that when you are employed by either a company or government organizations, compared to the cost of living and high level of poverty in the society, your salary might not be able to cater for your personal needs.
Okay.
Not to talk of domestic family needs.
Okay.
So when you create employment for yourself, you will be able to target your income.
Okay.
And also be able to draw out your expenses based on your day-to-day earnings.
Okay.
For example, I am into rent tax service.
Okay.
Bus rent tax service. So I know at the end of the week, no matter how the situations are, people will do events, either burial, marriages, it takes sale. Okay? So you go engage my canopies and chair tables for your services. I will be able to say, okay, Friday, I have TV shows to cover.
Okay.
These are the cost of the shows. This is the profit out of the show. I will be able to project that my profit within my expenses.
Okay.
Then I wouldn't end up borrowing because I'm not waiting for at the end of the month to receive salary. So it continues like that. Because entrepreneurship is basically hourly, meaning day-to-day income.
Okay.
So
not something you wait to get at the end of the month, a fixed income.
Yeah.
Now, that's for those who already have a job they're doing.
Okay.
I want to add something else to it. Let's look at those who have nothing at all, no source of income. How can they become entrepreneurs?
Yeah, a lot of people do say that there is no government support for them to be able to start up something. But in my own case, because sometimes I try to use myself as an example because I'm part of the system. Yeah, I left primary school at very tender age. I have nothing to go to secondary school. My dad was just a Vanguard carter in the village.
Okay.
So I came to Benin City, meet my auntie. So I was living with them, going to school. What I do, after school, I go to Ring Road. I do conductor.
Okay.
Till 6 p.m.
You were rendering service to get money.
So after about 9 in the evening, I closed. The driver gave me some money. So when I got home, I saved some, I ate some. So that was how I was able to go through my secondary school. So immediately after secondary school, I switched into the conductor business fully. Because this one doesn't need anybody to establish me. It's just for me to wake up early in the morning.
Okay.
By 5 a.m. I go to Ring Road. Then you have a lot of boxes there. You work with them. At the end of the day, you are able to get something. So I actually do that for like 2-3 years.
Okay.
Then I further my education a little bit. Then I come back again. I was not a full-time bus driver.
Okay.
Flying Benin, Ring Road to Supply Road. So at the end of like 1 year, I saved some money, then I traveled to Dubai. When I get to Dubai, I was working with a bakery company called Aline Bakery Factory.
Okay.
So from there, I saved. After about 3 years, I met my girlfriend, who is now my wife.
Okay.
She was a Ghanaian. So we both said, okay, you have saved, I have also saved. What do? We can't keep working here. Let's go and set our own. So we went to Ghana. We resided there. We set up a little bread and meat pie baking.
Okay.
So from there, today it's a household name company in Ghana.
Okay.
So after that, I discovered that, okay, the business in Ghana is not going. I came back to Nigeria, established the rental services, then I went into palm oil production.
Okay.
So which we are basically doing in Nigeria today.
So basically you do 3 kinds of business.
Yeah.
And you've been able to take us through your journey, how you became an entrepreneur. First, to get funds, you had to work for people to get savings, and then you started from one business, you were able to save, move to another business. This progress that you've experienced. Now let's begin from the part where you were working for people to generate funds. Some persons don't have that patience. It seems like it's a long time. How much will you earn now before you get money to start up a business, particularly in this time where a lot of persons are underemployed? If they tell you what they earn compared to the number of hours that they put in the job that they do, it's barely enough to take care of their basic needs. So how then can they save out of that? It now becomes something to start a business with. And by the way, what kind of business can they go into that they can start to grow?
I will give you an example.
Okay.
You may be earning like 30,000 per month, for example. You should be able to discipline yourself about some certain lifestyle.
Okay. Discipline.
Discipline. So when you are able to discipline yourself about some certain lifestyle, you will be able to save. For example, I can say when I was in Dubai working, my salary was below 80,000 compared to Nigeria money.
Okay.
So I didn't need to rent a house. I looked for a little church place there that some black people sleeps. When I close from work, I just go there and sleep.
Okay.
So in my 2.5 years in Dubai, I didn't have personal home. Either I sleep in the mosque or in the church.
Okay.
So I keep that money that I should have used to pay for rentage for myself. Then feeding. The cost of feeding was high, but the company feed us once a day.
Okay.
So what I just do, I eat the company food once a day. The evening time, I just buy little things for myself, and I was fine.
Okay.
Then what do? I stay away from big lifestyle, expensive meals, partying. Then I avoid family. As a matter of fact, I was unable to speak to my biological father for a good 8 months.
Because
not that I can't call. Yeah. Okay. I have the mentality like when you are out of Nigeria, everybody automatically take you are rich. So when I begin call home, then I can't save, because when I call my father and tell me I haven't eaten, there is no way I won't send him money.
Okay.
But I just have to cut those side off and concentrate. I know whenever I come, I know I have come.
Okay.
So I was able to cut those things and discipline myself to that extent.
Okay.
So I was able to save little. But when we came back, wanted to start our business, what we can start up, the money was small. So we said, okay. We bought one little oven and one bag of flour. We're baking meat pie. My wife would go and sell. Based on she was a Ghanaian, she knew the market more than I do. I bake, she went to go and sell. From there, we started doing bread. We went to the market. Those who were buying meat pie from us, we tell them, oh, when we start bread, you take it, try it.
Okay.
From there, the bread business become more even lucrative than the pie. So we just make it pastries. So, but we are now majorly concentrate on bread baking. So it's easy, just how you discipline yourself.
You've also mentioned another thing, skill.
Yeah.
Where you were working in Dubai, that's where you acquired the skill of baking, of producing pastry. And then you came in contact with your wife, who was also good in the business.
Yeah.
So like partnership, through partnership, acquiring a skill, partnership, disciplining yourself to save up whatever it is you earn to start up a business. Now let's look at, having started the business, how do you grow it? Because I know it's not easy. For how long have you been in business totally?
About 5 years now.
About 5 years. Okay, for 5 years to have grown from one business to having 3 different businesses, that's a great leap. How did you manage?
Yeah, the management as a result of carefulness, waste, and lupus.
Okay.
Yeah, management is when we go to market, we know when we buy a bag of flour, about 35,000, it's going to give us like 60 pieces of bread, which we will sell like about 50-something thousand. Yeah, automatically any 15,000 naira profit.
Okay.
So what we do, I keep out 5,000 for home feeding, and put the 10,000 back to the business. So at the end of the week, I end up adding more of the profit to the business as capital.
Okay.
So at the end of the year, it was amazing that we'll be able to have the capital and have a lot of profit. Then we push everything together to the business again. It's like we're starting afresh. We did it for the first year, the second year. Then from the third year, we started saying, okay, we cannot have our own personal savings because the capital is now stable.
Okay.
So another thing is inflation. You may buy goods at certain price today. Tomorrow the price will go up, especially when Corona came in. And we just talk about the Russia issue right now, which actually everything is on the increases. So there we now come about customer relationship. So you have to meet with your customers, make them understand. They are also buying other things in the market and they know how expensive it is. Okay, what we do, we're not going to make our product bad. We're going to maintain our standard, but we're going to increase the price. So bear with us because you already know the cost of buying production materials in the market. So some of the customers will agree with you, some will not agree. But in a consistent time, they will all agree. So you increase your price a little bit. So you now narrow down to, you sell the same way you buy. So it doesn't really affect you. If you have the customer relationship. But when you don't have customer relationship,
it becomes a problem.
It's not a problem, going to affect you. So that's typically how it is.
Okay. I'm tempted to ask you where you got all the skills to manage your business.
Yeah.
Because of all you've been saying, you really are experienced in running the business.
Yeah. When you talk of skills, like yesterday I was in a program here, I actually did not want to narrow it to my own personal effort. I believe in the grace of God because I'm not the only one in that field. So whatever you do, seek the face of God as well. You might be sleeping, some thinking will come over you, you put it in practice, it might go well. So that is special grace of God. So that is what I can say about that.
Acknowledging divine
intervention.
Yes. Now, apart from divine intervention, while you were talking, you mentioned that for your business, when you started your bakery, for the first 3 years, what you were doing was after taking a little for your upkeep, you put in back everything you were making right into the business. Some persons, once they begin a business, when the business maybe after like 6 months, provided the initial capital they started the business with is still there, they begin to take out profits. Do you think the time at which you begin to take out profit from your business is a contributory factor to how much or how far your business will grow? Yeah,
it's a contributing factor. If you are making profit and spending the profit, you will not go far in any business you are doing. Yeah, you won't go far in the sense that you have personal challenges. When you use the profit and personal challenges come, you are tempted to go into the mere capital. And when you take out of the capital, your business is going down. So like, for example, in Nigeria now, on the rental service side, we started the rental service about 2 years ago. I can tell you from that 2 years to date, I've never touched the profit. Sometimes my manager called me, oh, we have made so profit. I say, add it to, go to the market, go to Onitsha, buy more chairs and more canopies. I have given the business 5 years before I would take anything out of it. But I'm able to do that because there is another business where I can take care of my bills. But that is actually how we started, from where we started from. Discipline is part of it. Wastefulness, even Bible itself talk about wastefulness. So when you are not careful, there are some things you think is pressure. You're actually wasting the time. I was talking to someone a few days ago. He was asking me, every day you are on Yalabia, you have money, right? I said, it will be difficult for me to just pick up about 500,000 and bought a necklace and put on my neck when I'm a businessman. But I can't do that. Sometimes say, oh, you're supposed to. I say, no. It's not how a businessman should grow. Because I'm still growing. We are looking at Dangote levels. Before you can get out there, it takes a lot of discipline. And if you are a man, you have to avoid a lot of things. Because the society we are today actually call for you to like show off, to you to like do things that are, to you are impressing the society. But to the society, you kind of fool yourself. Because the same society you impressing, when their business collapse, they will still be the first to ask you, when you were doing well, you were making such mistakes. They won't remind you of your mistake as at that time. You have to go down first. So because of this, discipline is part of the principle you must apply in business or any investment. Yeah.
Okay, now, what are the challenges you've had to deal with as someone who's into production? Let's look at production first before the business of services. Yes.
Yeah, challenges in production. It's like, I think, 7 days ago, let me use that. The video is, my wife just called me. Bread are burnt. I said, what happened? Said the baker fell asleep because we naturally bake at night. So the whole bread got burnt. But she's lucky the company leaked spark of fire. Okay. So that is lost. That is lost. So
unplanned for, it just happened.
So if you are not the type that saves for those things, you won't shut. So what she does was like, okay, I just told them, the last month says, after paying workers, there are some profit I ask you for emergency. Take it to cover the
you were
lost.
setting aside for emergency. So these are things a business person should know. Once you start your business, begin to think ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the money's put aside for emergency purposes. We have to use it to fill the loss of that production. Okay. Then we have to like, okay, what makes this young man or young lady slept off? Okay. Then, at the cost. So when we look at it holistically, he may be probably tired. So what do? We have to pair him with another 2 people. Okay. At least 3 people can't just sleep off at the same time when they are on duty. Okay. So we rather choose the option of pairing him off than punishing him for that. Okay. So
managing your workforce is also important.
Yeah, very, very important.
Okay. Now, those are the issues you could control. What about external challenges? Things that have to do with the economy that you've also seen impact your business.
Yeah, economically, I would say it really does not do much.
It really doesn't
do much in the area of production.
Really?
Except you are buying and selling. We have different type of businesses. Okay. An investor is different from a businessman, but a lot of people don't really know this.
What's the difference between the investor and the business person?
An investor may not naturally have an idea of the business, but he has the finance to push the business. Then he hire an expert to run the business for him. And a typical businessman is one who has the skills and also have the finance.
Entrepreneur must have the skill, you must also have the finance.
So economically, when, for example, during the COVID, a lot of things went up. You still go down to your personal relationship with your customers. Okay. If, for example, this table was formerly sold at 18 naira from the production company, and things have increased, I would tell my customer, things have increased, the economic is bad. I can't longer produce these things for 18 naira. I'm not going to produce it for 115 naira. Okay? But doing that, you now reduce your production. If you're producing like 20 pieces before, you have to produce like 10 pieces because a lot of people are not going to agree with you on that price.
Okay, so initially when you introduce the new price
you reduce your production. So few people will accept it. But as time goes on, when these people also see that there is no other choices and the economic itself is actually bad, we are all feeling it, and they need it, they'll come for it. Just for example, when we were building my factory at Isubenu, we were buying bag of cement 2,000 something. But as today, it's 5,000 something. But you can't still say you won't buy. You will still buy because you need it. And if you say, oh, maybe it will calm down, it might go up. So you work at the moment, the economic impact of that moment, either negative or positive. As a businessman, you work with it. But be current on the cost of prices, whatever you use in your production. So when it goes up today, let your customer know it has gone up.
Having constant communication.
Monday next week, we will increase our prices.
Or you prepare them ahead. Okay.
So
that's for production.
Yeah.
You know, I was really surprised when you said that external factors that had to do with the economy does not really impact the business of production. Now, for some other producers, they've complained of high cost of production, even energy, getting energy source for their production is an issue. How come for yours? What would you say makes the difference?
The difference is still same thing I've told you earlier, customer relationship.
Okay.
A lot of, like Nigeria, we don't have lights. Okay. In my factory in Isogbenu, we don't use lights.
Okay. What do you use?
We use plant for production. Then we use solar for the.
Okay.
We use solar for the workers' apartment and all that things. But when it comes to production time, we use the plant, which is the diesel, which should take like 6 hours. Then solar for the rest of the things.
Okay.
When my management was sitting with me, I told them that the reason is that I can't go for the energy now because it's not stable. It's not reliable.
Okay.
That is for Nigeria. So let's go for what we know is reliable. Even if at a higher cost, it's reliable. It will be better for you to always have production for customers than you don't always have. So a lot of
consistency, ensuring that you
customers always have one. Why a lot of people complain about how the economies affect cost of production is sometimes a lot of big companies, the owner don't really kind of set up customer relation team.
Okay.
For example, what we do, we have a team. I have a team. When the normal marketers go to market, after like 1 week, I have a team that go around each customers. Even as I speak with you, I can tell you how many customers have purchased my goods today. Even back there in Ghana, even right in Nigeria. I sometimes call my customers. Are you comfortable with the goods? I hope it's okay. Did any of my workers talk to you anyhow you didn't like? Please, let me have the feedback. So when the economic is hard and you are increasing your price, they will even gladly accept it.
From what you said, I just discovered that you see customer loyalty as something very important.
Yeah, very, very
build
important.
It from scratch.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So yeah, very, very important. Because a customer that is loyal to you, that love your brand, he will tell you, no matter any amount he says, I will still buy from him. Okay. I went to a case of market. I was discussing with one of my customers who buy the palm oil for me. He was like, Okumu oil is dominating this market.
Okay.
And the price is high. They still keep on buying it.
Without the names of some other producers, so we'll be doing free adverts for them.
Yeah.
You have competitors.
Yes,
as well,
yes,
okay?
Yeah. So other competitors was like this particular brand is expensive, but it's still dominating this particular region of the market. Why? They are used to it. They hardly can do away with it. So no matter the price tag associated with those products, they will still buy.
Okay.
It's all about customer relationship and how you are able to relate with your customer in time of crisis.
Okay.
In time of crisis. Some customers too may not be able to afford the quantity of goods they are supposed to buy based on price. But you should be able to like, okay, no problem. Let me add this to what you are buying because of the price increasement. When your final consumers are buying it, you return some part of the funds.
Okay, having different packages for different categories of customers.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Okay, now if you just joined us, we've been talking about tackling unemployment through entrepreneurship. Now, this is an entrepreneur I have here in the studio. We'll be taking us through the journey of entrepreneurship, how you start. Now, for those who may be thinking, how do I get a loan? How do I raise funds for my business? Well, not everyone gets lucky to secure loan from either a financial institution or generous family and friends. So you can walk your way up there. Kelvin Isesile, who is right here in the studio with me, has to give us the story of how he worked, saved, and then started a business. He also talked about how he's been able to gain skill. Now, I've seen that one of the reasons why some persons fail in business, they do not have the skill, the expertise, knowledge of the business that they are doing. And that's something that I think you meant when you mentioned the investor and the business person. So if you want to be the business person, you must know the business that you do. You've taken us through production, how you ensure you stay afloat, being a producer. Now, what about for service? This is something that you offer to people. They are different. For you now being into rental service, there are different rental companies. How were you able to get into the space and have your own customers?
Yeah, I think first, always assess something.
Okay.
Your relationship with people.
Okay.
How
skills,
people
right?
sees you and your brand.
Okay.
When we came on board on the rental service in Ekpoma, precisely, we have a lot of people on it. But what we do, I first of all look at my classmates.
Okay.
Hello, bro, how far? I don't get canopy and chair. I beg, if you have anything to do, please. I'll give you the subsidized rate.
Okay.
He said, okay, no problem, bro. So, my uncle is doing naming. You need 2-3 canopies and checks. I said, okay. But, bro, what's up? Don't worry, bro. I'll tip you something. It's a gradual process. Relating with them.
Okay.
Through
starting with your
immediate
social
friends
network.
and associates, yeah. So from there, when you see other people who may come to the event, may look at the settings.
Okay.
Some might give you a call. Some are like, oh wow, these things were nice. We want it. The person will not have to call you. Yeah, so person came to my event the other day, say you want it. I said, okay, no problem. You deal with the person yourself. Let's assume I'm doing it for you. You deal with the person yourself. So we'll not talk of prices.
Okay.
So if I'm supposed to give him like 15 naira, I'll tell him, okay, you are giving it to someone. Let me give it to you like 45.
Okay.
You take the 5.
Okay.
So they know when you contact you, they'll go have something.
Okay.
They keep doing simple advert for you.
Introducing commission for those who refer others to you.
Yeah.
Wow. Now that's something very great. Okay, now let's look at managing different businesses.
Yeah.
It's very easy to get caught up, in one business and just forget the other business, leave it to other persons to run. How do you stay focused? You're doing bakery, you're doing the manufacturing of palm oil, you're also doing rental service. How are you able to manage all of this?
It's not actually easy, but it goes down to your discipline and your partnership.
Okay.
For example, I've been in Nigeria for the past 1 month now.
Okay.
I didn't really bother about what is happening in Ghana because my wife, I know she's capable of handling it.
Okay.
But in the case where the partnership fails, for example, you don't have a well-understanding partner.
hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
What you do is to centralize your business into one digital thinking.
How do you do that?
Yeah. For example, you know the production of today in this particular company.
Okay.
You know here, you know here. You just group them together. You know that this company is going to have like 1,000 pieces of production.
Okay.
Here, so just do your calculator. Know how much you're supposed to bring, here supposed to be something. You tag it together. So at the end of the day, you just make some calls. Do you have remnants, as in leftover that you didn't sell? You take the record of those ones. Any lost, you take record. You just sit in one place, check this file, and balance it. Fine.
Okay. Now, does it mean you also need to bring the business to one location?
No, it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter. It's just for you to be able to manage it from wherever you are. For example, I have a WhatsApp group. The rental service manager, the oil side, and the bakery there. And we are in WhatsApp group. We call it administrative WhatsApp group. So he's reporting from there. He's reporting from his I'm seeing everything going on there.
That's managing the workforce.
Yeah.
But for someone who maybe already has a job and the person is thinking is watching right now, okay, I could go into one business, there are things that I could do, but the person has never ever done business. Before you started your bakery, you were working in the bakery. Before that time, have you ever done buying and selling, production at any level?
I've never.
So
Never did
how did it feel stepping into an area you had never ventured into?
Yeah, I can only say, like when I was working in the bakery, knowing fully well I don't have any other skills.
Okay.
So I was actually at the sales point, sales, as a sales boy. So I tried to understand there is a need for me to go to the production centers.
Okay.
So I wrote personal exchange of duty.
Okay.
I gave it to the man, like, no, I want to go into the production center.
Okay, because you wanted to acquire the skill.
So they look at it and say, okay, you were very good in sales, so you go to production center. So I just go to the production center. I was there. So I saw how everything is being mixed, how it's being baked. So I tried to bake myself for like some months. I gathered the experience there. But a little thing I did that today sometimes it hurts me, but it's funny. I intentionally used this my hand to touch the oven, and it got burnt. So when I went to treat it, I wrote that because of the injury, I can no longer work at the production center. I want to work on the IT center. I wanted to know.
That was fraud.
No, that's I said. It's little things that happened.
Okay.
But I wanted to
the
work.
basic thing is that you wanted to have knowledge
about the IT,
of the bakery.
So they look at it actually. They sent me there. So immediately I got the experience there. I felt I was okay to go back to Africa and start my own.
Okay. Now,
so the basic part is that I was not actually working for money.
Okay.
Yeah, I was working to learn where I was working. But the problem most of us have today is they're working for money too much. When you are working in a supermarket, for example, you are just after your salary. You are writing a lot of applications for higher salaries.
Okay.
You don't even care to look at this thing I'm selling. How is it even manufactured? How is it done?
So even the running.
Well, yeah. How is it done? Where did those supermarket people went to buy the products from? How come they sell in these prices? Where did they get it? If I save some money and also go and buy and put it on my head and sell to people, people buy.
Okay.
So these are things people don't really consider. They just like, oh, Oga never increase our salary, blah, 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 blah. But how long will we continue to work on salaries? Which I believe in this part of the world, except if the salary is outrageous, that you'll be able to manage it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I was going to say that you've also talked about knowing the business you want to do. I know we talked about that earlier, but looking at how you really took time to study all the areas of the business that you do, it just makes sense that for whatever business you want to do, you must know it. You must know it. Whether you're already working and you want to create other streams of income, you must know your business. Skill is very important. And then there's a wait period. There's a wait period. You don't start a business now and then you begin to take out profit from that. But I still want to ask, how easy is it for you to do that? Now, what's the least or the minimum period you need to wait before you begin to take out profit? For your first business, it was 3 years. You mentioned that for renter now, for 2 years since you started business, you've not taken out profit. But what's the minimum? Not everyone can do 3 years. Not everyone can do 2 years. When do you know it is ripe enough for you to begin to take out profits?
If you are married, as a married man who have personal responsibility, it might be a little bit difficult.
Okay.
But our case was like, I was still single then, though in a serious relationship, but it's not like now that we have kids and everything.
Okay, we have too many bills to take care of.
But what actually matters is when you look at it, me personally, I always look for the big advantage part of it.
Okay.
I think I remember when I was doing conductor then, I was not actually looking for the money the driver pays me.
Okay.
I was just putting my eyes on how he changes his jar.
Okay. You also wanted to learn driving.
Before you know, I was able to drive. Going and coming. The driver was okay, you go and come. Before you know, I become perfect. I started doing driving. So I basically believe when you put your eyes on the bigger picture,
okay,
keeping the profit will be easy for you. Because my intention was, I want my business to grow. I don't have anywhere else to have money to put into the business. And this profit coming, I should not also waste it.
Okay.
So I should better save the bigger part and discipline myself for some certain period of time.
Okay.
And when the enjoyment comes, there will be infinity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I wish you had more time for this practical class. I will call it practical class because it's the account of someone who is an entrepreneur, not like he read it in school and then he's not practicing. It's what he does. And from everything he's said, I'm sure you've gained a lot of insight into how to start a business, how to run the business, how to sustain the business, and even go into other aspects of business, and then you manage everything together. So from the very stage of not having anything to do, if it's something little you can do to get by and then maybe save up, you could start from there, no matter how little it is. And then once you've been able to save something, you must start or test the water with something you know. Else it may just be waste of money. You don't say you want to start business. I'm wondering, like, if you had gone into maybe doing some other kind of business, like maybe selling cosmetics that you had no idea, it probably would have been a disaster for you.
Yeah,
okay, so it had to be something that you're used to. Yeah. And then you must also learn the wait period. Know when your business is ripe enough for you to start taking out profit. And then be on ground. Always know what's happening in your business. I see this happen with a lot of entrepreneurs. You know, this syndrome of I'm the boss of myself. Once your business grows, you are at home. Everybody brings reports to you.
Yeah, that's typically an error. But there are stages you girls to. If you are a brigade friend,
okay.
But when you are still strongly growing the way we are growing, you have to be up and down. Sometimes I come to Nigeria almost every weekend.
Just to supervise your
business. To make sure here is okay. I have to go back to make sure there is okay. It's not actually easy, but you have to, since you still have the energy, you still have the skills, the energy, the strength, why not do that? So at the end of the day, when you are old, you can sit and collect whatever you want to.
Okay, we're supposed to take comments at this time, but we'll give you the chance to do that via Facebook and on our website. Leave a comment, and trust me, we'll get back to you on any question that you ask as far as becoming an entrepreneur is concerned. Thank you very much, Kelvin, for being on the show, giving us a thorough class on how to become an entrepreneur and creating multiple streams of income. I do hope that you would enjoy your Easter holiday.
Thank you very much. Sure.
And I wish the same for everyone who's watched the program today. I am Blessing Age. Go on now and enjoy a wonderful Easter.